There is a town in Florida that had 1,924 people in the year 2000. Today, it has 18,000. It doubled since 2020 alone, and almost nobody has heard of it. Florida added 2 million residents in 5 years. That is 1,000 new people every single day. But the growth did not go where you think it went. It did not go to Miami, and it did not go to Tampa. It went to places that were not ready for it, places with no hotels, no hospitals, no roads that could handle what was coming. Places that woke up one morning and realized the state had arrived at their doorstep without asking permission. These are 10 Florida towns that doubled in the last few months, and nobody saw it coming. Number 10, Cape Coral. Most people think of Cape Coral as the city with the housing crash. What they miss is that Cape Coral is also the city with the most multifamily building permits per capita of any metro in America. In 2024, the city issued 2,045 single-family permits, worth $1.22 billion in a single year. The Cape Coral and Fort Myers metro was the #1 fastest-growing metro area in the entire United States from 2023 to 2024 at 4.1% growth. A city carved out of swamp in 1957 with 400 miles of canals, took a direct Category 4 hurricane hit in 2022 and came out building faster than ever. Hurricane Ian did not slow Cape Coral down, it accelerated it. Number 9, Palm Bay. In 1959, a land company carved out a massive subdivision called Port Malabar and sold lots to Northerners by mail. Then the company went bankrupt. For 30 years, the area sat with 200 miles of paved roads and almost no houses. Parents taught their kids to drive on the empty streets. Grass grew through the cracks in the asphalt. Then SpaceX moved in. Then Blue Origin. Then L3 Harris. High-tech employment on the Space Coast surged 41.6% in 5 years, the second fastest in the nation. Those empty roads from 1960 are now filling in with houses because 10,000 aerospace workers needed somewhere to live. Palm Bay grew 27% since 2020, and 74 new home communities are currently active. The vacant lots that sat empty for 3 decades are disappearing faster than anyone planned for. Number 8, Haines City. In 2018, this citrus town had no hotel. Not a bad hotel, no hotel. Named after a Confederate railroad official surrounded by orange groves, quiet for a century. Then it grew 12.5% in a single year. 1 year. Haines City is now a top 10 fastest growing city in the United States. Aldi is spending $87 million expanding its distribution center there to nearly 1 million square feet. Polk State College broke ground on a new campus there in December 2024. The city bought 800 acres for industrial development. A town that needed no hotel a few years ago now has 254 active new home communities. Polk County, where Haines City sits, was the 5th fastest growing county in the nation in 2023. It is projected to pass 1 million residents by 2030. The orange groves are gone. Number 7, Parrish. Parrish began as a farming hamlet founded in 1868, with a population of 721 in 1939. A citrus and vegetable shipping center so small it barely warranted a name on the map. Instead of being in the middle of nowhere, Parrish is now in the middle of everything. The North River Ranch community, alone, features more than 10 national homebuilders selling simultaneously. Manatee County issued 7,472 building permits in 2024. 2 brand new schools opened specifically to handle the growth. A $145 million highway project is under construction. The town went from 721 people to an area population approaching 68,000 in under a century, with most of that growth happening in the last 5 years. Nobody in 1939 shipping citrus fruits out of a small Florida depot saw any of this coming. Number 6, St. Cloud. This town was founded as a retirement community for Union Army veterans of the Civil War. Soldiers came to Florida to live out their final years in warmth and quiet. It was called the Friendly Soldier City. For 100 years, it was exactly that. Then Osceola County's actual population exceeded its own 2025 projections by 58,000 people. Not projections made in 1990, projections made recently. The county blew past them by 58,000. A 24,000-acre mega development called Sunbridge is now planned for 23,000 single-family homes. Alongside it, a semiconductor tech campus called Eniosity hosts the only United States-owned pure-play semiconductor foundry, a Belgian research institute, and the first international location of Seoul National University. School bus routes in developing areas take over an hour each way. A city founded for aging soldiers is now building a Silicon Valley next to a subdivision the size of a small county. We are halfway through this list, and the surprises only get bigger from here. If you want to understand the full picture of what is happening to Florida towns right now, we already covered the 10 cities where prices are falling the fastest, with real recorded declines as sharp as nearly 12% in a single year. Growth and collapse are happening at the same time in this state, sometimes in towns just miles apart. Hit subscribe and stay with us because number one on this list is the town that had a 100-year-old dream for 30,000 residents, watched that dream die in the Great Depression, and is finally seeing it come true right now. Number 5, Ocala, horse country, 1,200 horse farms, artesian springs, centuries of rural character. Nobody had Ocala on a growth watch. Then the Census Bureau named it the number 1 fastest growing metro area in the entire United States, not top 10. Number 1. And then they named it number 1 again the following year, the only metro to do that 2 years in a row. Ocala is adding 150 new residents every single week. The World Equestrian Center draws 1.2 million visitors annually to a metro of 442,000 people. That means every year, visitors outnumber residents nearly 3 to 1. Marion County issued 7,145 single-family building permits in just 14 months. Locals started a petition against overdevelopment with hundreds of signatures. One resident wrote, "Our roads are bumper to bumper. Our horse farms are now empty and ragged." Ocala is the horse capital of the world. We are not New York. She is right about what it was. She may be wrong about what it is becoming. Number 4, Wesley Chapel. Longtime residents called it Gatorville. One resident who arrived in 1995 remembered one grocery store and fields of orange trees. That is all there was. Today, Wesley Chapel has 4 hospitals, including a $330 million Johns Hopkins all-children's facility breaking ground, because 93% of pediatric patients in the surrounding counties were traveling outside the area for specialty care. The schools are operating at 143% of their intended capacity. One elementary school hit 169%. The district accelerated construction of a new high school by 2 full years because they could not wait. One resident told local news, "Why does a developer have more rights than me as a homeowner? I do not want to hate living in Pasco County. The town that had one grocery store now has more people per square mile than parts of Tampa. And it is still technically unincorporated." Number 3, Babcock Ranch. This one is different from every other town on this list. It was built from scratch on a cattle ranch that the Babcock family owned since 1914. The developer sold 73,000 of its 91,000 acres to the state of Florida in the largest land preservation deal in Florida history, then built an entire solar-powered town on the rest. Every power line is buried underground. Every home is powered by 700,000 solar panels across an 870-acre field. On September 28, 2022, Hurricane Ian made a direct hit on southwest Florida as a Category 4 storm with 150-mile-per-hour wind gusts. 2 million Floridians lost power. The lights, the internet, and the water never went out. The Publix there was the only supermarket open in the entire region. Families evacuated from Fort Myers and Sanibel drove to Babcock Ranch to shower and charge their phones. Home sales surged 34% the following year. The community now ranks number 4 among all master-planned communities in the entire country. It started with 0 residents in 2018. It now has more than 15,000, adding 18 to 25 new families every single week. A town that did not exist 7 years ago is now one of the hottest addresses in America. Number 2, Wildwood. The United States News and World Report named Wildwood the fastest growing city in America for 2025. Not the fastest growing city in Florida, but in America. The growth rate was 19.53% from 2020 to 2024, nearly 3 times the second-place finisher. Here is what makes this story different from every glossy real estate headline you have ever seen. In the year 2000, the per capita income in Wildwood was $11,758. The child poverty rate was 39.6%. Nearly 4 out of 10 children in this city were living in poverty. The city manager described it as a rural railroad town, where a lot of folks had to leave just to find jobs. Today, Wildwood has an $8.1 billion tax base and a $280 million annual budget. The city cut its tax rate by 25% because so much new revenue was coming in. The village's retirement community, the largest in the world, owns 26,000 acres in Wildwood and has plans to nearly double in size with 60,000 additional housing units. What was once a poverty-stricken railroad stop is now the officially fastest-growing city in the country. The city manager said it simply: Wildwood is now a city that is able to really improve the lives of our residents. That sentence would have been unimaginable 25 years ago. Number 1, Davenport. In 1920, city planners drew up an ambitious map for Davenport, Florida. They envisioned a city of 30,000 people. Then the Great Depression hit. The dream collapsed. A century passed, and the town stayed small. In 2000, Davenport had 1,924 residents. The median home value was $60,000. The anchor employer, a frozen orange juice factory, shut down in 2004. The town's only attempt at an entertainment destination, a circus and amusement park, was demolished in 2005. There was nothing left but citrus groves and a century-old dream that had died before anyone alive today was born. Since 2020 alone, Davenport doubled. It now has more than 18,000 residents and is growing at 9.5% annually, the second fastest rate in Florida. 100 new families move in every month. The median home value went from $60,000 to $381,951. The city has built 3 new schools, a second fire station, an 83-acre regional park, and a community center. City Manager Kelly Callahan projects 30,000 to 35,000 residents within the next 5 years. The number the planners wrote down in 1920, the number the Depression erased, the number that is finally arriving 100 years late. Callahan said 4 words that summarize everything: we are not sleepy anymore. Florida added 2 million people in 5 years. The schools are bursting, the roads are gridlocking, the water tables are dropping, and 1,000 more people are arriving today. These 10 towns did not ask for what happened to them. Some of them are thriving because of it. Some of them are straining under the weight of it. All of them are unrecognizable from what they were just a few years ago. Drop a comment and tell us which of these towns surprises you the most. Or tell us if you are one of the people who moved to one of them. Are you watching your town transform in real time right now? And if you want to understand the other side of this story, the Florida towns where prices are already falling and homeowners are stuck, that video shows you exactly what growth without breaks eventually costs.